In the small town of Brooksville, 12-year-old Jimmy Thompson was known for his clever tricks. He was always thinking up new schemes and getting into trouble, but no one ever thought he would do something truly dangerous. Jimmy had always dreamed of being rich, with visions of fancy cars, big houses, and endless freedom. One day, while playing with his friends near the old train tracks, he hatched a plan that would change everything. "I'm going to rob a bank," Jimmy declared suddenly. His friends laughed, thinking it was just another of his wild jokes. But Jimmy's eyes were serious. "I'm not kidding. I know how to do it, and I need your help." His best friend Tommy stared at him in disbelief. "Jimmy, you're nuts. We're just kids. We can't rob a bank." Jimmy grinned confidently. "That's exactly why we can do it. No one will suspect us. I've been watching the bank for weeks. I know when the guards take breaks and how to get in and out without being seen." Though nervous, his friends were intrigued by the prospect of becoming rich. Sally, the smartest of the group, asked, "What's in it for us? Why should we risk getting caught?" Jimmy leaned in and whispered, "If we pull this off, we'll be rich. No more asking our parents for money. We can get all the candy, video games, and bikes we want." Excited by the thought of unlimited wealth, they agreed to help Jimmy. On the day of the heist, they wore dark clothes and masks. Jimmy had even stolen a toy gun from his older brother for emergencies. As the sun set, they approached the bank, where Jimmy knew the guard would be on a dinner break. They snuck around to a small window Jimmy had discovered, climbed inside, and moved swiftly through the bank. "The money's in the vault," Jimmy whispered, leading the way with a flashlight. He pulled out a bent paperclip, mimicking a key, and after several attempts, the vault's lock clicked open. The sight of the cash piled inside made their eyes widen with excitement. Sally quickly filled a bag with as much money as it could hold. "Let's get out of here before someone sees us," she urged. But just as they were about to leave, they heard the guard returning. The kids froze, hiding behind a large desk as the guard entered the room. He spotted the open vault and called for backup. "We got a break-in at the bank," he shouted. Panic set in, and Jimmy instructed everyone to run. They sprinted toward the back door, but the guards saw them and yelled, "Hey, stop right there!" As they dashed down the street, the wail of police sirens filled the air. Their hearts raced as they tried to stay ahead of the police. Jimmy led them through alleyways, hoping to evade capture. "We got to split up," he shouted. "They can't catch all of us if we go different ways." They scattered in different directions. Jimmy headed to the park, hiding behind a bush as police cars sped by. For a moment, he thought he might escape, but then he heard footsteps and saw officers closing in. "Freeze, kid!" one of them shouted. Realizing there was no escape, Jimmy hung his head in defeat. The officers took him to the police car, and as they drove to the station, Jimmy regretted his actions. At the station, his parents awaited him, looking both scared and disappointed. "Jimmy, why would you do something like this?" his mom asked, tears in her eyes. Jimmy felt ashamed and guilty for dragging his friends into this mess. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I just wanted to help." His dad admonished him, saying there was no excuse for breaking the law and that he could have gotten hurt. In the following days, Jimmy and his friends faced consequences. They had to go to court and were sentenced to community service and counseling. The judge made it clear that robbing a bank was a serious crime, even for kids. Jimmy realized his mistake. He had thought it would be an adventure, but now understood that crime was never the answer. He promised himself never to make such a mistake again. Over the weeks, Jimmy and his friends worked hard to make amends, helping to clean up the town and learning about making good choices. They discovered that being clever isn't the same as being wise and that there are better ways to achieve one's dreams. In the end, Jimmy learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes, the greatest treasure is knowing right from wrong.